Good afternoon, Rotarians, friends, and guests. I'm Hannibal B. Johnson. It's my privilege as past president to welcome you to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. One of the great joys in Rotary is administering the oath of office, and I'm honored to do that today. Before the presidential oath, I'd like to introduce our 2019-2020 president and share with you some of her outstanding accomplishments. Becky Fields is a banker, business owner, and mom. Her career in banking has spanned 2 decades, with roles including president of the First National Bank of Grove and executive vice president of Yorktown Bank. Currently, she serves as vice president of the private bank group for Mabry Bank. Becky is a highly involved Rotarian, starting her journey in the Rotary Club of Grove. Her passion is serving youth. She has served as chair for Camp Enterprise, a volunteer chaperone for RILA, chair of the 4-Way Speech Contest, and a volunteer for Partners in Education. Becky is a graduate of the District Leadership Academy for District 6110. Here at the Rotary Club of Tulsa, she served as membership chair, during which time she produced the highly successful Women in Leadership events as a part of our recruitment efforts. Becky has served on several nonprofit boards, including Integris Hospital Foundation, Child Abuse Network, Grove Education Foundation for Excellence, and the YMCA. She's a Leadership Tulsa graduate, class 54. As founder of Positive on Purpose, a professional and personal development company, she helps high-performing women in business create strategies and systems that empower them and help them advance in their careers and in their lives. Becky's proudest accomplishments are raising her 2 amazing children, Gabby and Zach. When she isn't working, you can find her outdoors running or traveling or cycling with her boyfriend, Mike. Becky, the membership of the Rotary Club of Tulsa has elected you to serve as president for the year 2019-2020. Our members have expressed their confidence that you possess the qualifications and abilities necessary to carry out the presidential responsibilities. They also have confidence that you will continue the legacy of leadership that the Rotary Club of Tulsa has maintained in the community, in the district, and in the Rotary world. You are extraordinary in every way. It is with great honor that I administer the oath of office. Please repeat after me. I, Becky Fields.
I, Becky Fields.
Do affirm that I will faithfully execute.
Do affirm that I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
The office of the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
And that I will do to the best of my ability.
And that I will do to the best of my ability.
Give support and assistance.
Give support and assistance.
To the District Governor and to Rotary International.
To the District Governor and Rotary International.
And that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
And I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, as I pass the gavel and present Becky with her presidential pin, it is with honor that I introduce the 106th president of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, Becky Fields.
Thank you, Hannibal. And like I said last week, I have giant shoes to fill, and I appreciate his mentorship and the sacrifices that he's made for our club. And I will now present him with a certificate and his past president, as he loves to point out, pin. Thank you, Hannibal. How exciting is this? I have a gavel. Okay, let's see if I can make this thing work. All right, this meeting is in session. Will you please rise? I could think of no better way to start our year and my inaugural year with an invocation from my daughter, Gabby Fields, youth pastor at Life Church in Shawnee. If you'll come this way, and she'll also be followed by visitor introductions from past President Ed Monette and new member introduction from Justin Jones.
Please pray with me. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for this day. I thank you for each person that is represented in this room. Lord, we ask that you bless the year ahead and continue to use these leaders to make a difference in the community of Tulsa. We ask for vision, unity, and endurance throughout the next year. Thank you for who you are, and thank you for loving us. In your name we pray, amen. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. I hope your coffee cups and tea glasses are full. We have a slew of guests today, so this is going to take a little while. I will say for the first time in recent memory, I don't believe Chuck Wilson is getting an award today. So I will first introduce the Rotary host and then their guest, if they would briefly stand for a moment. This first batch, I believe, is every employee of Mabry Bank and all of the citizens of Grove, Oklahoma. They are the guests of Becky Field. So I will go through this. Scott Mabry, Marilyn Sullivan, Lisa McCarty. You're supposed to be standing up and then sitting down. There you go. Very good. Becky, you need to work on these people. Annie Alexander, Senator Darrell Weaver, John Pixley, former Rotarian David Bryant, Courtney Neal, Rhonda Bailey, Heather Van Hooser, Kelly Jezik, Tony Jezik, and that's it. Let's give Becky's guests a round of applause. We have a super special guest today, Patty Caldwell. More importantly, future Rotarian 9-month-old Jensen, both guests of our friend Tim Caldwell. Now, Tim didn't get with the new Sergeant at Arms early enough to get fined today, so every person that goes by and gives little Jensen a peck on the cheek after the meeting, Tim will donate $100 to the club for next week. And much to his dismay, because he didn't want to get introduced, but he's one of my favorite guys, Wayne Bradshaw, the spouse of Linda Bradshaw, is here today. Okay. Matthew Habuda is the guest of Cherish Green. Jan Lobb has two visitors from the Tulsa Sports Commission, Sam Crawford and Mark Hargis. Kristen Kogerman is the guest of Bill and Barbara Kogerman. Tim Dombrow is the guest of Tiffany Egdorf. Let's give all our guests a big round of applause. Visiting Rotarians from Rotaract, Roxanne Bilby. Past District Governor from Southside, Don Dindos. From Rotaract and Sunrise, Cole Adamson. The Rotaract President, Jessica Carney, who has a couple of guests, by the way, Jim and Julie Carney and Jerry Calzia. From Sand Springs, we have Rachel Parker. And another Rotaract, Kevin Flynn. Thank you all for being with us, and please come back.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing my new friend and the newest member to Rotary here. Brian is originally from Edmond, Oklahoma, and he has lived in Tulsa since 2007 after graduating from Oklahoma State University. Go Pokes. Anyone? Okay. He graduated with a degree in construction management. He and his wife and family live in Jinx. They have two boys, ages 7 years old and 4 months old. There's a big gap there. He is currently the director of operations for a construction company called CMS Willowbrook, who primarily focuses on K through 12 and higher education construction. His hobbies include golfing, cooking barbecue, and hanging out with his family. He was a member of Leadership Tulsa Class 55, and I hear there's a couple other Class 55 members here as well. Paul and Brian, you might know this guy. He also sits on the board of directors for a nonprofit called the Pencil Box, which donates school supplies to Tulsa area schools and teachers. So if you would, please welcome Mr. Brian Miles to the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
Welcome to the club, Brian. We are so excited to have you and hope that you just love every minute of your time with Rotary. At this time, I would love to introduce my family who has joined me here today. So if you will each please stand as I call your name. My boyfriend, Mike Wilson, and biggest supporter and cheerleader. My wonderful son, just back from Australia, Zach Fields. My daughter, beautiful daughter, Gabrielle Fields. My sister, Jenny Dapterry. My other sister, Sarah Martin, and her daughter, Mava Martin. My dad, Bill Goldner. My mom, Linda Goldner. My brother, Caleb Goldner. And my uncle, Matt Goldner. Thank you guys for coming. Surprisingly enough, that's not even a third of my family. I do have a younger sister that's in Dallas that couldn't be here today, and a whole slew of nieces and nephews, so I'm really excited that you guys joined us today. And thank you really to my Mabry Bank family. It means so much to me that you guys are here to support me and just allow me to serve in this capacity, because it does take a lot of time. But our Mabry Bank family is truly a family, and they allow us to serve in the community and things that we're passionate about, and so we can give back to our community. So thank you for being here today. This year's theme, I love. I'm so excited about it. It is Rotary Connects the World. This meant something to me on so many levels, so I just thought I'd tell you about a few. Rotary connects through leadership opportunities. Through leadership opportunities as a young professional in banking, it taught me, there were so many things that I learned through committee work, through fundraising, through being resourceful when you have limited resources, through learning just how to interact within the community and how to be a good leader. It has taught me so many things about leadership. Rotary also connects business. I have so many business partners in here, Jeff Hassel, Daniel Turner, so many of you that through the time that I've been here in Rotary, that we know and we value each other as Rotarians, and we know that whenever we send a client each other's way, that they'll be taken good care of because we have the same values. Rotary also connects through humanitarian efforts. One of my favorite Rotary memories was at the Atlanta Convention, the Rotary International Convention, when I was in the same room as Bill Gates, as he told us of his increased giving that he was going to do for our polio campaign. And I've been on a lot of boards and been in a lot of different nonprofits, and I've loved every single one of them. But this is the first time that I've ever had an impact around the world while being able to impact my local community. And it's just been so much fun. And as I saw the flags come up, everyone that would, when Bill said that he would give a couple $100 million, I think, on that day, he said he would match whatever we did. And so each country from around the world that was represented at Rotary International came and planted their flags on stage, much like our board of directors and officers did today. And they'd step up to the mic and they'd say, Canada is giving $64 million to Rotary for your efforts in polio eradication. And Zimbabwe is giving $10 million. And there were all these different countries represented. And I saw how connected we are around the world. And there are Rotarians, over 1 million Rotarians around the world, doing good just like we are in their own neighborhoods. But we all connect together on these big projects that we couldn't have a reach if we didn't have Rotary International in place like we have it. And so to me, it connects us through humanitarian effort. And finally, I'd like to talk about that Rotary connects through friendship. This has been one of the most meaningful things to me that I had no idea that I would connect at the level that I have. You see, about 3 years ago, as you know, I had breast cancer, and I had to treat out of state just due to some insurance things. And so I was in Chicago, and whenever I woke up from a 9-hour surgery, not only did I see my family, of course, there, but I saw Lynette Potter, who had come up to be with me. She and I were in the first class together when we first joined. We were in an orientation class, and we became fast friends. And I never realized the deep, deep friendships that we would make in Rotary and how we would be connected and that we would continue to build friendships. And the neat thing is Rotary does connect the world, but first you have to connect with Rotary. And so what we would like to do today is let you know that it's Happy New Year, and so we have new committees formed. And as you know, we have about 40 working committees. We are doing a lot in our neighborhoods, in our community, and around the world, but we need you. And so on your table, you will see the first of the year committee sign-up sheets. You are welcome to use those if that's easiest for you, or if you'd like to do it online, you can do it there as well. And so if you fill it out today, just fill it out and leave it on your table, and we'll collect those afterwards or hand them to some of the staff members as you leave. Or, of course, you can do it online on DACDB. We really appreciate your support, and our leaders are really counting on you to really think about what committee you want to serve on. How do you want to connect the world? What is your Rotary story that you want to use to impact the world and our club? Now it's time for a few club announcements. Very exciting, there is a new event committee that will meet in room 232 after today's ceremony. And also a special thanks to this week's meeting sponsor, We Be Trees, with Tim Nall. Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate your support. And I would just like to say, Joanne Miller, you look beautiful today in your hat. I am so glad you're back with us. She's been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and the first thing she wanted to do was make it back to Rotary, even though she can't even drive for a few months. So thank you so much. We appreciate you and our family, and we're so glad you're doing better. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce your officers and board of directors this year. They have been working nonstop with me since January. There are so many things behind the scenes. I had no idea what went on. But anyway, they have been working so hard, and I'm so proud to serve alongside of them on this team. So I want to recognize them really quickly. If you will all please come to the front and line up across the front, and if you'll hold your applause till the end, that would be great. So our board of directors, Hannibal B. Johnson, immediate past president. Mike Homan, chairman of the board. David Wagner, president-elect. Tiffany Egdorf, secretary-treasurer. Tana Scott, sergeant-at-arms. Monica Martin, community service director. Lynette Potter, club service director. Brenda Melancon, international service director. Paul Bowman, membership service director. Lane Dolly, vocational service director. Karen McCannell, youth service director. Tim Nall, director-at-large. John DeBar, director-at-large. Matthew Bristow, director-at-large. Karen Keith, long-range planning liaison. Club officers and directors, you have been selected to serve in significant positions in the administration of the Rotary Club of Tulsa. This is an indication of your fellow Rotarians' esteem and confidence in all of you. Will you fulfill the responsibilities of your offices to the best of your ability and in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of this club? If so, respond, I will.
I will.
Super. At this time, I would also love to have the 2019-2020 Rotaract officers. For anyone that doesn't know, our Rotaract Club is our Young Professionals Club, is an extension of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, and we are so excited to see all they do this year. They are on fire. We better watch out. Our leadership team is Jessica Carney, president and go-getter. Colette Adams, vice president and equal go-getter. And Kevin Flynn, secretary-treasurer. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your 2019-2020 leadership. One last thing, we could not do all of this work on our own. Of course, all of those committees have chairs, and it would take a little long to introduce them right now, so you'll hear about them as today goes and as the year goes on. So at least committee chairs, would you at least please stand where you are so you could be recognized? Thank you all so much for your service. You may be seated. And speaking of our leadership team, Chuck Wilson, who is not getting an award today, I promise, but they have been working hard already. He is our chair for our programs committee along with Regina Moon, and they, along with David Downing, has given us a sneak peek into programs to come. Let's watch.
Full of despair, one woman came forward to lead Rotarians. Her name, Becky Fields. As the president of the Rotary Club of Tulsa,
Already?
her year will include stories so incredible, so wild, so unbelievable, you won't want to miss a single meeting. In alphabetical order so we don't get anybody mad. Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum, Dr. Jared Clancy, Oklahoma State University President Burns Hargis, Representative Kevin Hearn, Representative Kendra Horn, Thunder General Manager Sam Preston, Tulsa Restaurateur Hal Smith, Governor Kevin Stitt, Tulsa Police Special Ops Team with News on 6 anchor Lori Fulbright, Tulsa Metro Chamber Chairman David Stratton, Grillmeister Dana Weber, and many more. And hopefully no one boring. Read your Monday morning email for the feature of the week. The Rotary Club of Tulsa. Together, we inspire. Coming every Wednesday to a church near you.
No wonder David wouldn't let me see that in advance. Got a few wild stories, I'll tell you. All right, so in other exciting news, I have one more sneak peek for you, and it's a very small sneak peek. You'll have to come back next week. So how's that for a teaser? But as you know, you've heard the buzz around it. We have a new event this year, a new fundraiser coming this fall. The only thing I can tell you is it's called Rhythm and Brews, and it is going to be exciting. You asked for a more public festival type feel, and we are delivering. You are going to be so excited to hear more about it next week when our chair, Monica Martin, comes to present more information on it. But if you just have to know, you could always join the event committee. They're meeting right after today. So I can't wait to see what you all have to show us next week. And now it is time for our Sergeant of Arms, Tana Scott.
Let's hope this thing works. Hi, oh my gosh. So I have a terrible stain on my pants and I'm just gonna get out there. I don't know what happened. I do, it's just a long, crazy story. So we're just gonna carry on. I've got it out there, now you can ask me later. I wanna say thank you, Becky, for giving me this opportunity. You're gonna be an amazing president, and you look great in white, by the way. Okay, two things I love. National Day and mixed cocktails. I have 2 minutes today. I was gonna get a blender and do something amazing, and Becky's like, you've got 2 minutes, and I'm like, fine. Go get a pina colada. It is today, please and thank you. The other thing I love are gifts, and this one's not working. So this is supposed to be me on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's body doing this while money is falling, and it's not working. So what is the money support? It's our foundation. Our foundation is our backbone. It's what allows us to do all the things that we do in Tulsa and across the world. So thank you in advance for what you do to support us, and thank you to the people that donated for today, so I have some content. Why donate? Birthday, I can't read that. Anniversaries, spouse birthday, wedding anniversary, Rotary in the News, vacation, staycation, events you want to promote. If you have something that you want us to talk about, that you want to get out there, email me, let me know, and literally anything else. If you want me to stand on my head for 10 minutes and pay $100, I will gladly do that. Thank you to Charlie for $100 in recognition of the Ninney Funeral Director's 80th year serving Tulsa families. Hal Allen, he didn't ask that I put a picture, but I wanted to, and he didn't say why, so because he's awesome. Becky, hold on. I had to get this right because it wouldn't all fit. I didn't want to get El prezes wrong on my first day. So she wants to give $100 to Camp Enterprise on behalf of her mom's recent award, which she won the State of Oklahoma Agritourism? Agritourism Award from Lieutenant Governor Pennell for her Oasis Animal Adventure Program on Grand Lake. This is her nonprofit that has animal classes for the public. They also specialize in using animal therapy for classes with adults with disabilities and at-risk youth. Daniel Gomez, is he here today? Yeah, I didn't know if you'd like to take a break. Thank you, $50. He was featured at Men Making a Difference in Tulsa in the Tulsa Lifestyle magazine. So thank you, Daniel. Is that not me? And I'm off.
Thank you, Tana. This is going to be a fun year. In order to kick off our inauguration day, I've asked Whitney Farley to share a special performance with us. Whitney is a senior majoring in music education at the University of Central Oklahoma. Whitney graduated from my alma mater. We're both big city girls from Jay, Oklahoma. Whitney competed recently in Miss Oklahoma in May of this year and was a recipient of the Rookie Talent Award. Please help me welcome Whitney Farley.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh, 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 oh. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors, yeah, and that's what we become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh, 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 when the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, This is Bruce, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies, this is me, oh, whoa, oh, 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 this is me.
Thank you so much, Whitney. That was absolutely amazing and a wonderful, inspirational way to start our Rotary year. Each one of us have a Rotary story and vision for what can be. And here is mine. As we huddled around the campfire on a chilly April night, as Karen told us her story, my heart broke in two as I listened to what she had been through in her life. I was a chaperone for the first time at our RILA Youth Leadership Awards, which is a camp for juniors that are leadership potential that their counselors and Rotarians see and send them to on behalf of Rotary. And throughout the week, I had noticed that Karen kind of stayed to the side of everyone. I won't point her out on here, but she stayed to the side of everyone. She was kind of one of those awkward kids that you're kind of like, oh man, she's not really fitting in. She's not really getting it. And I just kind of felt bad for her the whole time. And so I would kind of come along and say, hey, Karen, come join us with this. Or hey, Karen, what do you think about that? And I'd ask the other kids to kind of talk to her and bring her into the conversation because I could tell she was being left out. I had been in Rotary Club of Grove for about 6 months at that time. But on that day, on a chilly night in April is when I became a Rotarian. You see, I had joined Rotary as a business thing. It was networking. That's just what I did in my business to gain business. And I did gain business. However, like I said earlier, I have gained a lot more through Rotary through the years that were even bigger than those rewards could be. And the last night of camp, I had asked the kids to go around the circle, around the campfire, and tell us what they had learned the most that week. And as Karen told us her story, she told us a sad story about heartbreak, that she had been in and out of foster homes her whole life, and she had suffered abuse at the hands of several different foster parents. And our heart broke for her, but she smiled and said, I don't know why my Rotary Club chose me to go to RILA. I'm not a natural leader. But now after this week, after I've seen what I can do, I know that being different is okay. I know that being unique is an advantage, not a disadvantage. And I want to be an agent of change. I want to go back and influence kids that are awkward, that don't see themselves as leaders, to be able to be leaders themselves. Karen was an agent of change, and she changed my life that night. As Rotarians, I am positive that you have stories just like this, and I've heard a lot of them, and you could all get up here and tell the same things. People that you've impacted and people that have impacted you. Because in Rotary, we have a very big mission, and that is together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. We are agents of change as Rotarians, and that's what I want to talk about today. This is nothing new to us. Through our programs over the years, we've given millions of dollars of support locally and around the world. We've given millions and millions of hours in volunteerism. Here's just a few highlights that you all know about. Camp Enterprise, Partners in Education, Henry P. Ibis Citizens Athlete Awards, Above and Beyond Awards, Crescendo Music Awards, Shop with a Cop, and the Nicaragua Water Wells projects. And I think right now, large clubs like ours have an even bigger responsibility to help the Rotary world with the issues that we face. And I don't know how many of you know, and we have a lot of guests, but we are one of the top 20 Rotary clubs in the entire world in size. So a normal normal size is more around 30 Rotarians, and we have over about 1.3 Rotarians around the world. And so we make up the top 20 clubs in the world in our size. And so they look to us. They even have a conference just for us, the Large Club Conference, where leaders from around the world get to meet and get to discuss the issues of Rotary. And through some of those conferences that I've been able to attend, I've learned so much about Rotary International and then just about our club and what that means for our club. And it's no secret that Rotary International and our club have just experienced some decline in membership over the last few years. And I am a banker, and Scott, our CEO, comes to us every quarter at our employee meetings with charts and graphs. So I find it's only right. Of course, you knew I was going to do charts and graphs, right? So that's just a general decline over the last 5 years in our membership. And it doesn't need to be alarming, but we do need to look at it and just see what's going on. So I just kind of started researching, and I found out that Rotary International is not alone. Actually, all service organizations and missions and church organizations are having much the same problem. So it kind of bears thinking about, like, kind of what is going on. In the book, The Membership Economy, the author said that people aren't looking for another meeting. They have enough meetings, but people still want to belong, but they also want ease of access. So think about like Netflix and Amazon. How easy is it now to download and stream a video whenever we used to have to go to Blockbuster and rent a video and worry about check-in time and late charges and all those things. So they've removed the friction between the consumer and the company by getting us to have an online subscription. So people do like to belong. They like to be an Amazon Prime member. And speaking of Amazon Prime, they just celebrated their 25th anniversary as a company, and just think about all the things that have changed for them since they became a company. The thing that has not changed, though, is people are still looking for meaning and connection. And here's my own little take on this. I did not find any research to support this, so this is just my 2 cents worth, and that's about all it's worth. But my own take is maybe because of social media, as wonderful as it is, and as so many things that it can do for us, maybe we feel a little bit of a sense of connection just because we saw where someone went on vacation, or because we see the occasional post of their kids, or we saw what they ate for lunch yesterday. We feel like we've connected because we commented one thing, or we liked one thing, or we saw what they're doing. But there is a greater connection that can even take place when we meet like this, when we meet together, when we meet with Dell, and we served on MSNI together. When we serve on things together, that's where those deepening relationships happen that just can't be traded for something quick like Amazon or Netflix. So while I think we do need to look forward, and we'll get there, I do think we need to look back and just kind of see where we've come from. Over 100 years of change. So Rotary has been around 110 years, our club 106 years, and we have always had the motto, service above self. But things around us have changed completely during that time. Let's just look at communication, for example. We've gone from letters to telegrams to phone, fax, email, cell phones, and then text messaging. Also, in the music and entertainment field, we've gone anywhere from silent cinema all the way now to Netflix. And then women in the workplace has changed. Now a bigger emphasis on diversity and inclusion, increased travel around the globe. And just so many things have changed, while we as Rotarians are still trying to keep up with all those changes. And how do we connect with people in meaningful ways? Paul Harris even said it, our founder, years and years ago, this is a changing world. We must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will be written again and again. We're the authors. What's so neat is we have a wonderful foundation to build on. We've been here for 106 years doing good in the world. We have an amazing foundation to build on. And so we have the luxury of maybe trying a few new things and saying, what might work? What should we do? So the world around us is changing, but are we changing with it? So I have a question for you, because I don't really like change, but I'm going to talk about change. So does anyone in the room like change? Do I have any takers? A couple? Oh my goodness, I'll need to talk to you because I need help in this area always, always. But the reason we don't like change is because our mind sees danger when we see change. We're comfortable in our little comfort zone. That's why they call it the comfort zone. You get in there and you get comfy, and you don't want to get out. And the neat thing is our brains work for us. So, you know, your brain keeps you from harm physically and emotionally. So it keeps you from harm from going out in the street and getting run over. That's good. Good comfort zone. Okay? It keeps you from harm from saying something that you shouldn't or getting in an argument with someone. It keeps you inside and keeps you safe. But then sometimes it works against us a little bit. And so sometimes what it might look like for us in Rotary is, oh, we've always done it that way. Or if we change it, people will get upset. Or what if people leave? And those are definitely good questions that have to be examined each time we talk about changing something. Here are some things that I don't like to change. And my family can tell you I am a huge planner. Do I have any other planners in the room? Oh, yeah, several of you. Okay, good. I'm a huge planner, so I like everything just to kind of go so-so. So that's why I don't really care for change, because then it's surprises. I don't really do well with surprises. For instance, Brahms. Why do they keep changing the ice cream flavors? I want butter brickle like every time I go. Don't offer. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. I want it every time, and Mike knows this. Like, I order it every time, and every time they say, oh, we don't really carry that anymore, but we carry rainbow fruit, whatever. I don't care. I want my butter brickle. I don't want change. It's just not okay. The other thing I don't like is like the rerouting. You know, whenever you type in an address and you're going somewhere on MapQuest and all of a sudden it says rerouting, rerouting. No, I don't want to reroute. I know the way that I go, and it makes me nervous to see the detour signs. And I even, in my head, I just like when someone throws me something at me, I might go rerouting, rerouting, because I have to refocus and rethink. I'm outside my comfort zone. Danger. What's going to happen? And I, you know, all the deep breathing and everything that I have to do. But so what this is called the terror barrier. Anytime that we have something new that's outside of the ordinary, that's something that we're not used to doing, it's called the terror barrier. And as you can see, you can break through that terror barrier. It's really easy. All you have to do is say, well, what is the worst thing that could happen? You know, sometimes it's not that bad. Sometimes we build it up in our mind so much that we're so used to our comfort zone that we don't even recognize that we're stopping ourselves from looking through that brick wall and saying, well, what is on the other side? And what if I just got comfortable with being uncomfortable for a hot minute, and it's just okay? It's just okay. And then you just, and then the next time that you introduce a new idea, you go, you know, remember the last time I was nervous about trying something new? It worked out okay. Or it didn't. Sometimes it just doesn't. And then you're still alive, and it's still okay. So the thing is that even though change can be scary, change can also be good. For instance, did you know that before 1989, women were not allowed in Rotary? And now look at us with all these women in the room. I mean, look how much better it is, right, guys? And guys, don't make eye contact with each other right now. Look at me, and no one will get harmed. It's going to be okay. So change can be good, but change can also be hard, because we're just afraid of losing something that we value or something that we're used to. A Chinese philosopher, I love this, a Chinese philosopher once said, resisting change is like trying to hold your breath. Even if you succeed, it won't end well. So maybe it is time for us to change as a club. The neat thing is Rotary International has recognized this too. So over the past 3 years, I've been going to the Rotary International conventions, and they've noticed it too. So as you know, they relaxed the attendance requirements and made some things more flexible to be. With the way our businesses work now and people are mobile, it's almost impossible to think that someone would be able to be at the meeting every week. So how do we take advantage of this flexibility and lead the way as agents of change in our community? How can we reinvent our wheel? So today, I want to introduce to you 4 big ideas to be agents of change. But first, I need you to do something for me. So turn to your neighbor, look at your neighbor, and say, this girl is crazy. Okay, now turn to your other neighbor, your second choice, your second favorite, and say, this will never work. All right, I have good news and I have bad news for you. As president, I bestowed 3 complaints for the year, and you just used 2 of them. So you better be really careful about which ones that you decide to come and tell me about, because you've got one left. Save it for a really good one, a really, really good one, okay? Make it worth your while. So all kidding aside, I really took time and studied our strategic plan that Jeff Hassel was instrumental in getting in place a few years ago, and looked at it and just saw, okay, so the past few presidents have already marked these off. Awesome. What else do we need to be working on? And then I was also reading a book called The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker, and she talked about, one of the quotes in there she said was, how can you start a movement if you don't even know who's in it? So our strategic plan is a few years old, even though we interviewed the community and all of the Rotarians that we had then. We have a whole new group of Rotarians here. So as you know, I've been trying to talk to a lot of you. I didn't get to talk to everyone. But I just wanted to see who you are, what do you want to do, what do you love about the club? And so I sent some surveys out. We also got to do the fireside chat, which was amazing. If you weren't here for it, I asked these questions of the club. Why did you join Rotary? What would you like us to start as a club? What would you like us to stop as a club? What is keeping you in the club? And what is a threat that would cause you to leave the club? And in answer to the question of why you stay in Rotary, it was no surprise, but relationships was up there every single time, relationships. And so I think we're really on to something. It's not about attendance. That's fine. It's great. I love it if you can come all the time, but it's really about engagement and how well are you getting to know your fellow Rotarians, because Rotary truly connects the world. So because we're building from such a solid foundation, it kind of feels easy. It kind of feels like, what else? Just what else do we want to do? So how can we reinvent our will? So I have 4 big ideas for you to be an agent of change. So if you're ready, say I'm ready. Perfect. All right, let's get going. Number 1 is we need to elevate our membership numbers. Okay, so it's been declining. We looked at it. We see what we have to do. And back to the numbers again, one of the main things that was on our strategic plan is in order to continue with the level of impact we wish to provide, we need to increase membership numbers specifically in the areas of diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds, gender, and young professionals. So a quick look at some numbers again. This is where we are. We're still adding more females, but we have a ways to go. So girls, bring your friends. And then this is our age breakdown. We don't track for racial and ethnic backgrounds, but of course we have work to do in this area as well, we know. And so the neat thing that I love about this, how diverse is our age? How cool is that? What other club have you been in? I'm either in a young professionals or something more mature, but this is so neat to see how we're just really well-rounded. We do have some work to do in the young professionals area, and Jessica Carney and her team are really doing a great job on adding their Rotaractors, but then they age out of that. And so what are we offering them to help them feel welcome in our Rotary Club? So some of the obstacles that I found whenever I was recruiting chair, there were 3 main obstacles that I heard that even if people loved Rotary, they loved our mission, they loved what we did, here were the 3 main things. 1 was a lack of money. It was maybe too expensive for them to join. 2 was a lack of time, and 3 was a lack of understanding of value to them. So a couple of new initiatives that we're working on this year. 1 is an under 40 membership that would be at a discounted rate to help our young professionals be able to join the club as they're increasing their earning potential. The second thing is also to host a young professional summit. Listen, we have the best leaders in Tulsa in the room right now, and we need to be telling people that this is a training program. Like I said before, it connected me to so many leadership opportunities. Otis Winters, I saw Otis earlier. I know he's here somewhere. Thank you. Hey, Otis. Otis Winters, whenever I was a young president of a bank, there were a lot of things I did not know and that I was doing wrong. And I could call Otis, who was a corporate governance guru, worked out companies like Enron and huge names that you would know. And I could call him and say, Otis, can I have lunch with you and just ask you some business questions? I'm really confused about this. Is there something you could help me with? And he would do that. I mean, how would I have ever been able to do that? Or call Keith Bailey? Yes, I'd like to speak to the CEO of Williams, and they'll just take my call. Yeah, but he would, and he does, because he knows me through Rotary. And it's the same with all of our Rotarians. We're so eager to give and to lead and to mentor. And so we're doing this Young Professionals Summit, and we will partner with our Rotaract Club. They're going to be our other title sponsor. And Jessica Carney and Justin Carlton are going to head that up for us and really just create some great breakout sessions that would be interesting to our young professionals, to Thai pros, and just to get us on the map of all that we have to offer. So the second big idea I have for you today is to elevate our membership experience. We want to provide service opportunities, mentorship, and gatherings that excite and connect in a new way. It is all about engagement. It's all about getting to know each other and what our passions are. In our business, we talk about moments of truth. So whenever you interact with a customer anytime, whether it be through a bank statement, a phone call, whatever it is, we call them moments of truth because it is a moment of truth that they either choose us as a customer or they choose someone else. And we have so many small ways that we can touch people and that sometimes we don't even notice. And so what are we doing for our moments of truth within Rotary, all the way from the first time that you're a visitor, how the process goes for you, whenever you're a new member, how that process goes for you. And so we're just really working on tightening up those and putting strategies into place to make sure that people don't fall through the cracks, that once they are in the club, that they are able to get engaged in a way that makes most sense to them. And the other thing we want to do is find more ways to engage new and existing members. The hallmark of who we are is service above self, and I could not be more excited about this initiative. So what we're going to do is it's a new committee, but it is going to be called Service Above Self, and Jan Lobb is chairing that for us. And what we are going to do this year is just make sure that you have ways to connect each month through volunteer activities. So of course we have our regular programming that we volunteer for, Camp Enterprise, those kinds of things. But we want to be more recognizable in the community as partners in the community. So we will have t-shirts and we will have an opportunity once a month, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. And we're also creating a new award that will go alongside our Paul Harris award. And the reason for that is, as I was talking to a lot of young professionals, I found out that sometimes they felt left out of the club because they didn't know that we valued volunteerism or service, even though that's our motto. They thought you just had to be rich, basically, to be in the club and be able to write a check. Yeah, I'm not rich, so you can join, let me tell you. So anyway, so I thought, you know, why don't we recognize what we do value? We value service. And so there will be tiers, just like Paul Harris Fellow, and you can earn just for your volunteer hours. What's really neat, I thought I had a neat idea. It was not my idea. I get on DACDB and other clubs are already doing it. So maybe I heard it at some convention or something, but we're going to be participating in that. And of course, there'll be more information on that later. And we also want to elevate our message. We want to create and share a magnetic message that resonates with and attracts quality new members. Our biggest initiative in this is just going to be working on our social media campaign to reach out to young professionals on social media. And another one that I'm going to do personally is I'm starting a President's Emerging Leaders Luncheon. I just want our young leaders to know that they have a clear path to leadership. And so it will be a 6-month program that starts in August with our young professionals, anyone in the club under 40, and as well as the Rotaract. I talked to Jessica, and she would like to involve her members as well. And so we'll just be meeting once a month over a brown bag lunch, nothing fancy. We'll be talking things like networking, leadership, goal setting, career development, and more. And finally, we want to elevate our meetings. Like I said, everything's going great, so like, what do you change on something that's going great? So you just have to kind of look into each thing. And one of the things I notice is part of the struggle that we have is people are so distracted. They have so many ways that they can connect around the world and things that they can do in their day. And so we wanted to make it a little bit more user-friendly to people, especially who travel. I hear a lot over the years that there are teachers that would like to be involved because they have a heart for Rotary, but of course they can't come during the day. I have several clients who are doctors who would like to be involved, and again, their time does not permit where they could come during the day. So now that we have a relaxed attendance requirement, we're going to make it more about engagement. So we're going to deliver more of an a la carte style meeting format, meaning, of course, the 4 meetings a month, programs a month will stay just as they are, and so those will be continued to be delivered at the level that you always expect. And then we are also continuing the Thirsty Thursday, which is our once-a-month social event on the 3rd Thursday of the month, and then adding into that our Service Above Self committee, so you can interact so even if you can't come during the week, you could come for our social networking, and then you could come for a volunteer activity and still be an engaged, committed Rotarian and get to know other Rotarians that way. Recently, I read that book called The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker, and some of the questions that I came away with as I was looking at this is, are we on autopilot in anything we do? Do we just keep doing what we've always done because it's been easiest? Are we doing anything that's off-putting or non-inclusive? Why do we gather, and what do we hope to accomplish? And the thing I kept coming back to is that in a busy world, people are just looking for meaning and connection. And I think as long as we provide that and continue to provide that like we always have, and just get the message out that that's who we are, it's just a perfect fit for other heart-centered individuals like us. You know, it's easy to worry about what we may lose if we're open to change, and it definitely can be scary. But the thing is I've messed up a lot of things in my life. I've messed up over and over again, but I also feel like the biggest setback is a setup for a comeback, and everything is figure-outable. And so all we do is if we try something this year and it doesn't work, we say, oh, well, that didn't work. Let's try something else. So I wanted to deliver this message to you because this is the message I've been giving to our leadership group for the past 6 months. So they might be trying some different things in your committee that you're not used to. And I would just ask that you have an open mind and say, wow, that's interesting. Hadn't thought of that. Or we used to do that. That sounds like a great thing. Let's try that again. Or here's another idea. I would love to have innovators in our club because I think you're the ones that will really continue to build on the foundation that we have, and that will continue to be the agents of change that this community is used to and that we've supported. So these are our 4 areas of focus this year on membership, membership experience, our message, and our meetings. I believe that you are agents of change. The Karens of this world need us now more than ever to be creative, to be flexible, and to make the necessary changes to take our club into the next 100 years. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens," that's you guys, "can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very nice. So I have exciting news to wrap up today. So we have your first volunteer activity at the end of July. This will be your first opportunity to get involved in the community with Jan and her team. It will be a Service Above Self event, and we are partnering with Beep World Series Baseball. This is for the vision impaired. Let's take a look at their video and learn more.
Baseball is essentially a modified game of softball for the visually impaired. Developed in the late 70s, it is pretty much played like standard. I mean, if you watched it in standard softball, you would be able to figure out what's going on. But we use a modified softball that has an electronic rechargeable beeper in it, and our bases make noise so the runners know where the bases are. Now, we've modified some rules, like the pitcher is with the hitting team as opposed to against the hitting team, because it'd be really easy to strike a blind guy out. I mean, you'd never have a chance, even with the ball peeping. So we get our guys to throw it, and the point of the pitcher is to make him hit it as best he can. The defenses, you got 6 guys out on the field, and they kind of divide the field up into zones. And when the ball's hit, a zone number is called, and then it's basically up to the guys to get to the ball before the runner gets to the base. If he gets to the base, it's a run. If he gets the ball before he gets to the base, it's an out. 3 outs a game, 3 outs an inning, 6 innings a game. And like I said, if you watch regular softball and watch this, you figure out what was going on real easy.
How fun is that? Jan has some representatives from the Sports Commission here today. They will be out in the lobby accepting your sign-ups. I believe they have some 2-hour slots available. You guys, this goes around the world, and we got this here in Tulsa, and we would love to serve that community, the visually impaired. What a neat outreach, and allowing them to participate in athletic events just like they're used to. So we're so excited to be involved in that. So let's do a big showing of support for that. And in closing, as you all know, we always do a special book recognizing today's program, and we give it to our Partners in Education School, Celia Clinton. I believe at this time we've given over 3,000 books to their library, which is so neat. And I am so proud and honored to give my mom's book that she wrote about one of her Rosie the Roo kangaroos from Oasis Animal Adventures, and she signed it for us, and we'll be presenting that to the librarians at Celia Clinton. You guys, this has been an amazing time just even getting ready for today. And I'm just excited for a year with all of you, with our team, and all of the things that we can do. You truly are agents of change. Now go change the world.